Okay, look, I know how this is all gonna sound, but you have to let me explain. Please, just listen.
I see that look. The one in your eyes right now. You think I'm coming apart, that I haven't slept, and you're right, I haven't. But you weren't there. You didn't smell it. You didn't hear it. You don't get what came back with me. So please, just let me tell you.
You know, in this job, you get used to the noise. The sirens, the yelling, all of it. You build a wall. You learn to leave it behind at the end of a shift. But some calls, they're not like that. They're not loud. They whisper.
And it's weird because it's never the really loud ones, you know? Not the ones with all the action and the crime scene tape. Those have an ending. No, the ones that really get under your skin, they're the ones that feel unfinished.
That's why I usually didn't mind wellness checks. I honestly preferred them. They were quiet. It meant it was already over, you know? Nothing to do but file the report. It's clean. But this one wasn't over. It didn't end.
So the call comes in just a little after 2:30 p.m. Totally standard. A neighbor calls about a smell, says they haven't seen the guy in a week. Routine stuff. But from the second I got the address, I had this knot in my stomach. It just felt wrong. It wasn't the usual silence of a scene. This felt like something was holding its breath. Just waiting.
The house was at the end of this dead-end street, you know the kind, where the road just kind of gives up. And all the other houses were fine. Manicured lawns, the whole deal. But this one was different. It looked sick. The grass was all overgrown, the windows were blacked out with something from the inside. It looked like the whole neighborhood was trying to pretend it wasn't there.
And the smell, God, it hit me before I even got to the porch. I thought I knew what death smelled like. I was so wrong. This wasn't just rot. It was wet, heavy. And there was this chemical tang to it, you know? Like something was actively, unnaturally decaying. The air was so thick you could taste it.
So I knock. Nothing. Standard procedure, I try the handle. Unlocked. The door groaned open, scraping against something on the floor inside. And this wave of air just rolled out. It was suffocating. It tasted like damp earth and rot and something ancient.
Inside, it wasn't just a mess. It was entombed, buried in trash, floor to ceiling. Except for this little path. A narrow tunnel winding through all the junk. And walking down it, the walls of garbage felt like they were pressing in. The floor was soft, spongy, damp. I called out, police, but the sound just vanished. It was like the house just swallowed it.
And that's when I saw it. Amidst all the chaos, there was this weird order. The newspapers. Not just old papers, no, it was the same paper, over and over. Hundreds of copies, all stacked neatly, all folded to the exact same page. I pulled one out, the headline it was a gut punch. Local doctor cleared in child death case. I read the story. It was awful. A little girl, a simple surgery gone horribly wrong. And the father, he lost everything. His job, his wife, his whole life just fell apart. The doctor, he walked. Not enough evidence, they said. He just walked away.
And then there was the last part of the article. 2 days after the verdict, the father drove his car to the old bridge over the river. He was never seen again. They figured he jumped. His body was never found. And standing there, reading that, the air in that house got 100 times colder. And then, I heard it. From somewhere deep inside the house. A sound that it didn't belong. It was this shh thump. A wet, dragging sound. Slow, rhythmic. Like something heavy being pulled across the floor. And there was this strained breathing with it. I pulled my service weapon, moved down that tunnel. It opened up into what must have been a bedroom, and the smell was, I can't even describe it. My flashlight beam cut through the dark, and there he was, a man, pinned to the wall, with these huge industrial screws through his arms and legs. He was alive, barely. His eyes were open. I reached for my radio, and that's when I heard it again. That wet, dragging sound. But it wasn't in front of me anymore. It was right behind me.
My blood just turned to ice. Every cell in my body was screaming, "Don't turn around. Do not turn around." But I had to. And this voice, it gurgled like it was trying to speak through a throat full of river water. I waited a long time. I whipped around, my light catching the figure in the doorway.
And the thing that messes with my head the most is that for just a split second, it looked human. Just a man in a doorway. But then my eyes adjusted. The skin was this awful bloated gray color, like a body that's been underwater for weeks. The arms, they weren't right. They were too long, hanging down past its knees, dragging on the floor. And it was dripping. Cold, black water pooled around its feet.
My heart was trying to punch its way out of my chest. All my training, my entire sense of how the world works, it was just gone. The only thing I could manage to say was, What are you?"
It tilted its head, and its voice, that same watery gargle, it said, "I was a father. I asked for justice, and something answered." And it all just clicked. The newspaper, the father who jumped in the river, he hadn't just died, he'd made some kind of deal.
That moment, that realization, it broke the spell. It didn't just walk, it lunged. It moved so fast, pulling itself forward with those horrible long arms. I fired. Once, twice. The shots were deafening in that cramped space. And the thing, it just crumpled into a heap on the floor. And then, complete silence.
Backup came. They explained it all away, you know? A squatter, some crazy person. They bagged the body, they called it human. I just kept my mouth shut. What could I say? I tried to bury it, I really did. And for 3 nights, it almost worked. But on the 3rd night, I woke up. It was 2:47 a.m., and I heard a sound. It was the same sound, that wet, dragging sound. But it wasn't in that house anymore. It was here, in my house, in the hallway. Shh, thump. Shh, thump, coming closer.
I sat there in bed, paralyzed, listening, as it dragged its way down the hall, getting closer and closer, and then it stopped, right outside my bedroom door. The silence was heavier than the sound had been. It felt like it was listening.
And then a whisper through the door. That same broken, gurgling voice, but it wasn't angry this time. It was just filled with sorrow. He whispered, "I can't go to her like this." He was talking about his little girl, the reason he did it all. He's trapped.
So, do you see now? I'm not crazy. It's here. It followed me home. It never really left that man. And now it's attached itself to me. It's right outside that door. Every night. Just waiting. So tell me, what am I supposed to do? How do you run from something that lives in your house now?
If you want to hear true horror stories, hit like and do subscribe Fear Labs 99, because the next story is even darker.